So, I mean, how important has it been to have those veteran guys that have been able to step in, TJ and Terrence, step in and help you guys out?
I thought it was great for us to have two veteran guys to, hold down the position fairly well. I know this last game they were a little hot and cold, but all in all, I thought they did a pretty good job holding it down.
TJ strikes me as one of the leaders in that room, and I know he's one of the veterans that you have here. But is that accurate to say that he's one of the leaders for?
Yeah, and he's a quiet leader too.
Yeah.
He leads by example. He's very anal with his studies, and I always try to tell the young guys to try to emulate his approach to the game. So he definitely, when he decides to speak up, guys listen.
And he's versatile too. I mean, last year we saw it. We're seeing it again this year. He's like a nickel guy, but you can slide him outside if you need to. So
No question.
too.
And he could probably play some free safety too, if we ever got in a bind. So again, just his IQ and his professionalism really helps us quite a bit.
Coach Dorsey went out of his way quite a bit to get the award with the number 4 overall pick, obviously. So when that kind of talent and investment is not on the field, specifically with him, what's missing?
Well, I mean, sometimes you can't control injuries. That's something that no one can control. So it's good to have him back, and we have 10 games left. So it'll be good to get him back on the field and see him start producing for us.
What are the dimensions that he brings to the field when he's healthy?
Well, just his athleticism, his quickness. He has ball skills. I mean, he'll tackle. So pretty much he has all the intangibles to be a top corner in this league.
A lot of guys through here. I don't know if you saw the Chris Spielman rock over there, but it says Spielman like a rock or something like that. It's still there. But I remember him saying in 1999, I was asking about the defense of the Browns. He said you can never have enough corners. From that standpoint, getting guys healthy again and having guys who are starter capable, but will be in a rotation now. What's your view on that? Having real depth.
I think
at
it's
the position.
I think it's critical in this league. It's rare you see a corner go through 16 games straight, so it's always good to have depth. Plus, you have all these 10 personnel groups, 11 personnel empty, so all these different wide receiver sets that you're going to see throughout a year. So it's always good to have depth at that position.
With Greedy, we've seen some of these soft tissue injuries when they happen in camp. They've really hurt a rookie, especially. So what does it do to him in this situation to miss this time with the hamstring? Is it beneficial that at least he got all of training camp, so maybe he can hit the ground running a little better?
No doubt about it. Welcome to the NFL, because he mentioned he's never been hurt before, but he and Denzel, they study, they've paid attention to the veteran guys. So I think to a certain degree, they've learned some things by being out. So again, it's good to get these guys back.
In terms of depth, you probably took note to what happened to the Eagles this Sunday in Minnesota, getting carved up and being injured. How much when you see that, does it make you appreciate your depth more, and do you understand that could be a position you were in if not for the depth of this team?
No question. You always go by the model next man up.
Sure.
And it's pretty good for us that the guys that need to step up, they did for the most part. So, again, it's always good to have quality depth at that position because you're going to have some injuries at some point.
At the top of the conversation, you said replacements are good players, but the last 2 games have been hot and cold. The hot and cold. What's that look like when they're hot? They're doing what's going right, and when it's cold, what are some of the problems that creep up?
Well, we talked about today in our meeting. You got to win your targets, and when you get a chance and you're getting targeted, you want to win. So either you're winning or you're not winning, or you're 50-50. So that's something we talk about a lot. When you are targeted, we want to try to get as many wins as possible.
Carry on that 3rd and 5 or so play very late in the game that was controversial and was the roll to catch.
Right.
He said, of course, he would like the no catch, which he thought it was, but he blamed himself a bit too. Was that an example of where it wasn't quite perfect technique? And he's right. A better technique might have made difference on an individual play like that.
Well, the clean part of it is it's just a clean PBU. Is probably what TJ is alluding to. But at the same time, we thought that he got the ball out to make it a questionable call. So, we didn't get the call. He played it pretty close to perfect, but I know in terms of getting a clean PBU, those are some of the targets that we're talking about, just trying to win those plays.
I sense what he was actually doing there was being a leader, and Freddie's asked everybody to be accountable, and he was just holding himself accountable in the context of a big play in the game. So, but it sounds like you already said he's a pretty good leader.
No question, he is. He is.
I feel as if, just correct me if I'm wrong, but the veteran experience of the depth of this team, I'm assuming, is a large factor to why they're succeeding on the field despite the term backup, if you will.
No question. I think, when you're trying to build like we are, you want to have those kind of players to be able to step up and kind of get you through until you get your guys back. And it was good because they're definitely, we're family, and it doesn't matter who's on the field. Everybody is a guy in our room and in our locker room. So, again, I just think every man has to step in and get their job done, when they're asked to.
Yeah, so one of the younger guys, actually, Eric Murray, doesn't have quite the experience guys like TJ or Terrence do, but he's stood out sometimes on tape, and he's been playing well. What are your thoughts on him, and what are some things that stand out so far through 6?
He's played a lot of football, when you kind of look at his history in Kansas City.
Right.
So he's not unfamiliar with what goes on the field. So, again, I would put him in the same category as TJ and Mitch. Is just good to have those kind of guys that can step in and keep things going.
Is his versatility one thing that makes him useful? I've seen him at safety, nickel corner, outside, even though it's some linebacker. Is that can you just talk about what the versatility of Murray that makes him valuable to this team?
No question. When you can play more than one position and have that type of versatility, it just really helps your room when you come into issues to where, guys have to step up.
Actually, you answer. How many positions can he play on defense?
I think he could play corner, if you put him out there. I know we have him at nickel and have him at safety, but I think if you got in a bind and you put him outside, he could probably do that because he played corner in college, so it's not foreign to him.
Right.
What are some of the things that would lead to optimism from you about how your group's going to look coming out of the bye and going through the rest of the season?
Well, we had the 2 young guys today, and they look pretty good, practicing. They feel healthy, and they ran around full tilt. So it's good. The more you can bring to the party, the better. So it'll be good to have most of the guys back for this game. It's going to be a challenging game, but I think our guys are ready for the challenge.
Have you faced Brady a few times? I assume you have.
I have.
What's the Brady experience like for you?
Just his IQ. He's talented, but there's not a whole lot that he hadn't seen from a quarterback standpoint. So he's just an experienced, talented, smart football player.
On the same topic of Brady, you've got DBs in this locker room. We've all gone up against him at different times. Most recently, it would be Murray in that AFC Championship game, actually. Do you ever pick your guys' brains about that, and specifically Murray with being the most recent on just what they remember from that game and things you can pull from that?
No question. When we have our little sessions when guys can kind of speak up a little bit, those will be some things that we'll ask, just getting guys' opinion on how they played them or some of the things that they've seen throughout playing against Brady.
And real quickly, how valuable is the heightened experience of an AFC Championship game compared to, every game's important, but playing Brady in the regular season compared to that highest stage, like the title game that a guy like Murray had?
Yeah, I just think it all depends of how guys are approaching it. Now, you could say, you want to approach every game the same, but at the same time, I think every game's important.
Going back to Denzel real quick, are there any concerns about his durability, or are these just kind of freakish?
Yeah, I'm not concerned. He's a young player, and he's still learning what this league is all about, so that part of it doesn't concern me at all.
And then I wanted to ask you about Jermaine Whitehead, because I think he played every snap the other day. We've seen him getting more and more work. I know there's been a lot of high praise for him from you.
Right.
I know Joe Witt was very high
no
on
question.
him. So just what do you like about Jermaine, and why is he kind of taking over that role a little bit?
Just his IQ, and he's a dog. He's gonna give you everything that he has, and he's a smart player, and he can play a number of positions too in terms of playing our big nickel, playing strong safety, playing free safety. So he brings versatility as well.